Well, joining me now is Penny Gaines, who's chair of Stop HS2, group campaigning against the high-speed train. Penny, good evening to you.
Good evening, Petrie.
Now, yesterday you must have been quite pleased to hear it being said that there was a serious rethink needed by Andrea. Today, are you disappointed to hear that Labour will fully be behind this?
Well, the thing about the vote tomorrow is it's not the end of the line for opposition to HS2. There's going to be a very long time before they could get to the third reading and the final vote on HS2. So as far as Labour's concerned, it doesn't actually matter to them whether this vote goes through or not, because it's not going to be until the next general election. The final vote isn't going to be until after the next general election. So they've got plenty of time to turn around and say, well, actually, now that we've looked at it again, that we're going to change our mind. The costs have gone up too much. The environmental damage is too great, and they're going to cancel it. So there's plenty of time. This is just Labour playing politics.
But still, you'd like the vote to go your way, wouldn't you?
The Conservatives are being very heavily whipped in favour of coming into Parliament tomorrow to vote for the bill. So we're not expecting it to be cancelled tomorrow, unfortunately. What we are asking is as many people as possible to email their MPs today and tomorrow to try and persuade their MP to either vote against it or abstain if they can't go as far as...
To rebel, because if a whip is behind it, and just for those who don't understand that is them being told which way they should vote for party politics.
Yeah, we would like them to rebel. There's a lot of pressure, especially on areas that are affected. There's a lot of people who are saying to their MP, we want you to vote against the whip. So there is a lot of pressure there. There's also pressure across the country. So the MPs in the southwest, they're saying, well, we don't even have a line that's reliable. They were cut off for months earlier this year after the bad weather. They've got their line back, but it's still just as vulnerable as it was before. They want more security for a lot of the local lines. And when you look at in the north, the HS2 does nothing whatsoever for Manchester to Leeds journeys. They're just going to be just as slow as they are now. It does nothing for speeding those up. So it's a very specific line that's directing everyone into London as if London's the centre as well. And I'm sure...
Well, it is the centre of the country, Penny. You can't argue with that.
It is the centre of the country. But when people are talking about, well, HS2 is going to be wonderful because it's going to regenerate the north, they're not going to do that by saying, let's get everybody into London faster and more easily. They're going to do that by saying, let's see what is needed, what infrastructure is needed to help people.
But the last time I took a train, Penny, they did go both ways. So it may regenerate the north by getting people out of London to the north quicker.
What economists have found is that when you have one very large conurbation like London is, better links mean more people go from the smaller conurbation to the larger conurbation. The links, of course, railways do go both ways. Nobody would argue that, but it's the way that people are travelling. So a lot of people in Birmingham and Manchester who are in favour of the line say, yeah, it'll make it really easy for us to get to London faster. But there are very few people in London who are saying, yeah, it'll be really easy for me to get to Birmingham or me to get to Manchester.
It's already, we're out of pocket by £65 million on this, largely because of their having to go backwards and forwards with consultations with groups like your own. Do you feel any guilt about that at all?
I feel the government are trying to blame it all on the people who are looking closely at this project. It's going to cost £50 billion, so that's nearly 100 times as much if the government figures are correct. Treasury figures that were published last year suggested it might be 72 billion, so that's 100 times more than has already been spent. It's a fallacy to say we've spent so much money, we ought to spend sort of billions more to build it. That money's gone, whether it's built or not. We need to think about what we want to spend the rest of the 50 billion on.